This is Corinthian bringing you guys a second PvE update, which I'm hereafter going to refer to as the Epic Battles update, as that is what it's going to be called on your clan screen. And basically, I'm going to assume that you've already seen the PvE update video, that first one. Even though it is a month or so old, it covers a lot of things, and I'm going to kind of be talking about it as I go through. Or at least referencing it. So I'm going to quickly pop over to clan chat, and that way I don't have to silence anybody. And we're going to quickly look at what I'm all going to be going through. So that is a lot of stuff that I've written down. You can kind of look on the last video I did, which was this one, less stuff for the most part. That was all in the first video. This is the second video. Seems more at least. But let's go ahead and jump right into it. So epic battles are going to be divided into series, with missions in each series, each mission having stages and possibly phases inside of that. So that all sounds very random and sporadic, and so I kind of want to explain it to you guys via Paint, since I can't show you screenshots as far as stages and phases. But I'll first go ahead and just show you guys the initial screenshot we showed months ago about Series 1 and all of that. You can see the whole placeholder text that means nothing in gibberish, and Boss 1 Level 1 and Boss 1 Level 1, etc. You know, all of this. Don't take the text for what's going to be in PvE, but I'm just using the interface as a reference. So you're going to see Series 1 has 80% on the side. I don't know if that's going to be there. But, you know, this would be one series. There's several missions, and then farther down there'd be another series. It'd be like Series 2. There'd be some title next to Series 2, like the name of the boss. That's at the end of the mission, or at the end of the series. And then there'd be like, you know, 5 or 6 missions or whatever in each series. And in order to get to the next one, you have to finish that mission before in the series. So I hope that made sense. By the way, this would be the gold that you have in your troops and spies that you currently have while you're on this screen. But you progress through each mission. There's little stages that you have to do, whether it's scout, you know, so many times, so that way you have a higher success rate. Although usually you don't have to do those, I'm guessing. Or like other ones where you have to use potions exclusively on a bar in order to lower alertness or put people to sleep, or maybe make your troops stronger so you can break through walls or whatever, some lore thing here. So that's going to be what you're going to be using for as far as item bars. I'm going to talk about all the different bars and what to expect later. But, you know, you're just going to have to go ahead and work your way through it. So, that's the video. Let's go ahead and go to Paint. So, for Paint, the reason why I broke this out is I can't really show you guys any screenshots I've seen. So, let's go ahead and make this a black background. Why not? And I'm going to show you guys kind of what I mean. So, there's going to be a red bar right here, and that's going to be basically the bar that you want to get down in order to win the mission. This is kind of what I'm going to call the mission bar, or the main stage. Other bars that you're going to have to worry about are what is called stages. So there'll be like a lower bar over here, and another bar over here. Oh, oops. Well, okay, let's do that. Sure. And then we'll do this. Why not red again? And budding. So the idea is you'll have to say scout for one bar and steal for another bar, or attack that bar. And so once this bar is down, you'll be able to go after this bar, and then you'll be able to go after this bar. Or you have to do one of these bars, and the other bar is optional to improve success rate, and then you'll be able to do this bar. Or you'll be able to just attack this bar, and using these bars help you out farther down, or something along those lines whenever the updates get more complex. Additionally, you might have to clear these two bars, get this bar down for a bit. Let's go ahead and draw a line and fill it in. So let's say you get them down to here, you've eliminated these two bars, but then a second set of bars appears. So, like this. This is called like a phase. The first one would be phase 1, this would be phase 2. where a new set of stages appears. And once you kill these 2 stages, assuming there's not a 3rd phase, then you'll be able to completely eliminate that main bar, and these will be gone too. And then you'll have the mission success, and you'll get rewards, which I'll talk about later. But that's kind of what I mean by series, missions, stages, and phases. I hope that little paint silliness got you guys a little bit better idea of what you're going to see there. Each series is based around a different stat group. So early series will be scaled in success rate income with weaker kingdoms initially, early on, and get more difficult and more profitable as clans progress. So basically, Series 1 is probably going to be likely and/or is going to be set up for people that have T1 buildings. As odd as it sounds, even people that are as weak as T1 buildings have clans and so on and so forth. And so you'll have good income, very high income for someone that's has a T1 build, but higher end builds will be making reduced income compared to attacking someone their level. But they'll also have a much higher success rate and do more damage to the bars because of their stats. So you can power through these if you're stronger, but if you're not, you'll make decent money, and you'll kind of want to linger around there anyways. I'm going to talk about the whole damage and income and the balance that strikes later. So higher series are made for people that are higher combined, so maybe Series 2 or 3 is going to be set up for Tier 2 people, 3 or 4 probably for Tier 3, and so on and so forth, so that way everyone can make a decent income. And success rate I don't think is going to be too tough, because we are going to have to be fighting plunder wars. This is what it is supposed to replace. But as I said in the last video, epic battles will be initiated by clan owner or admin. So only officers can start an epic battle. You can only hold 1 epic battle at a time, so you can't be breaking into the gates of Tentacle Man, whoever we named the boss one, and at the same time we're going to be killing Hawthorne. We can't fight 2 different missions at the same time. We can only do 1 at a time. Fairly logical. And much like the war system, when you had to wait 24 hours from when it was declared in order for the war to start, there's still going to be a timer from when the mission is selected by a admin or owner and when the mission actually starts, and that's going to be, I believe, a 15-minute timer. Now, in the last video I did say that items can be used or will not be used and will be kind of highly unlikely, but as you can see, things developed, and items can be used by anybody for a higher success rate, so and more damage. So remember how I was talking about how stronger people will do more damage? Well, potions give you fake stats, so those combined stats will help you do more damage, and of course will improve your success rate. So this will kind of make you be able to speed or power through missions that you're trying to avoid if you want to spend the income on it, but then again you won't be making money or as much money because you're using items. But it can drastically increase your damage if you're using all potions, obviously, at least at the early stages, because, 3 million extra attack, raw attack, on Series 1 is probably going to manage or be more valuable than 3 million extra attack on Series 7, where you've got like Tier 4 people. And I'm just making up series numbers. I'm just saying Series 7 should be a lot more difficult for harder people, and Series 1 will be for newbies. But that's just that. Additionally, items will kind of be required for some stages. So I mentioned like you'll have to use sleeping potions to put people to sleep, so you can steal something from them maybe, or use potions of rage to break through walls. I don't know why I've got those 2 examples in my head. You might have to heal people with defensive potions, because I think there's like what defensive potions are there? Isn't there like a scroll of healing or something? I think so. Let me look. And yep, scroll of healing. So you might have to use scroll of healing to help heal people. You might have to use potions of sight in order to spy something or something. See how I used something twice and was vague but detailed at the same time. But you know, items will be required and they will be available. So for everyone begging for items and appealing it, we heard you guys. As far as what build to go, for people that are looking at my notes, I kind of have been asked ever since PvE has been started, and other mods too, as well as the devs, what build should I go? Should I be a pure troop? Should I be pure spy? Should I be a mix? Should I be all towers? You know, what's the best balance for PvE? What's the best build? Up until now, I've kind of been telling people, you know, just do whatever build. I mean, what build you have now will be good in PvE, because you're going to be needed to spy, you're going to be needed to attack. I mean, the 5 actions that you're going to be able to do are attack, scout, steal, assassinate, and use items. So, I'd advise having 1 troop building and 1 spy building, but at the same time, pure troops or pure spies will still be able to use items, so that's one thing down, and you'll be doing a lot more damage in those bars. Now, you didn't notice that 3 of the actions are spy actions, so I kind of think that spies will be very strong, I think you can use the assassinate ability even for the attack screens, for most of them, I think. You'll be doing a little bit less damage than you would compared to a pure troop build as far as the attack screen, but for people that want to finish missions quickly, I think having a handful is probably really strong. But in general, either be a straight mix of equal troops, equal spies, or have at least 1 troop building and 1 spy building. Troop buildings being, if you're tier 1, stables, workshop, barracks, tier 2 being forge, war cathedral, bestiary, tier 3 being subterranean factory, I think, circle of elements, and I've already forgotten. Wow, that's sad. What is that called? I have one, don't I? Let me look. Or a war aviary. And tier 4 being all that good stuff, because I clearly don't want to embarrass myself further. Spy buildings being guilds or stronghold of shadows. So let's go ahead and go further. I did kind of warn that it would be long, and I do apologize, because it is. But initial missions may not be seen initially and will be revealed as you progress. So this one just shows that 1 mission. When you see Series 1, you maybe will see, like, alright, you can fight this one, but then this one's locked, this one's locked, this one's locked, and then maybe Series 2, you'll see the first mission, and then you won't see anything after Series 2 first mission. You'll have to go, did they only release 1 series and 1 mission in the second series? Well, no. You're going to have to fight your way through that series, and after you complete that mission, you'll see the next mission up until the next series, presumably. So that's how that's going to work. So until you've played through all the series, or until you've seen someone's been in a clan, or seen the forums for someone to play through all the series, you're not going to really know exactly the extent behind it all, as far as how many series and missions they've released. So if you fail the mission, there's not going to be a penalty. Fairly straightforward. I think I said this in the other video. If you lose, they're not going to be like, alright, you have minus 50% troops regeneration for a day. No, you're not going to have what I just said, before people assume that I said that there was. I said no. There's no penalty. People have been asking, you know, oh, is the boss going to do damage? If the boss doesn't do damage, it'll be just like attacking an OSF. Yada yada yada, and so on and so forth. Well, if you look, there will be no damage being done to the players in this update. That said, I'm going to be talking about regeneration and other issues, you know, the fact that you have to multitask, you know, there's multiple bars to work on, or just the whole coordination thing. I think it's going to be more interesting than attacking an OSF. I mean, that one used to hit attack, 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 and then you steal, 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 steal for OAS. And that's kind of all you do. If anything, if this mission is like OSFs, then there's more types of OSFs for these missions. And there's lore, which I'm going to get into later. So, they're not going to do damage to the player, but maybe in the future they will. I'm not certain if they're going to put the damage in for these missions when they put that in retroactively, or if they're going to just put that in for the newer missions. Ask me about that. at later updates. Successfully completing a mission will award gold based on successful actions completed, the type of action, and the size of the kingdoms. There is no set reward. So basically, when you did the war system, 20% or 25%, I think now, of what everyone earned was put into a war tax pot, and it was awarded based on activity. So the person who had won 25% of the gold for his clan got 25% of the gold overall, and so on. For this mission, or for missions in general, you're going to get gold based on successful actions. So successful actions being, you successfully scouted, you successfully attacked, you successfully assassinated, even you successfully used items. So even though you're using an item and spending your own money on an item, you can actually profit from each action that you do if you finish the mission. As all gold from successful actions is only awarded by completing the mission. So there is no abusing it and then failing it for some reason and then going back in. For obvious reasons, because you can scout a lot more and you'll need to probably scout more, different successful actions will pay differently. So a successful scout action presumably will pay less than a successful attack action, just because they're two different sized actions, ignoring damage. As we're just talking about successful actions, it doesn't matter how much damage you did with that action. As far as how much gold you get for each action, the amount of gold that you get is based on the kingdom that you have. So a player in Series 5 that's 400, 200, 150, 150, or a starting player who hasn't done anything to his buildings, if he uses an item in a Series 5 mission, he's not going to get several million gold for one action, or whatever the amount is. As opposed to a Tier 4 player using an item on that series and getting income. But at the same time, if you use successful actions for a Series 1 mission, you're not going to get as much income as in a Series 5 mission because you're so large of a player. The whole too weak, too strong error, although there is no error in this, seems to apply, where you make more income the stronger they are compared to you, and less income the weaker they are. So let's go ahead and move on. Talked about that. Alright, for those looking to speed clear missions, if you want to unlock all the lore as fast as possible, you want to know how to do everything, you can go ahead and use all the items you want to for more damage. But this is going to lead to less actions, as you get gold based on successful actions, and potions themselves subtract from income. So basically what this means is that if you have 10,000 HP to go through, and you're dealing 100 damage an action, with just normal scouting, we're assuming, then you're only going to be able to get in 100 successful actions, versus if you use all potions, because you're doing more damage. Let's say you're doing 200 damage for the sake of being easy to calculate, and so you're only going to be able to do 50 successful actions, and so you're going to be making less money because you're having less successful actions. And if you're using items for the in general, items cost money at the store. I mean, if I go over to the store over here, you'll see, oh yeah, that's $12.50, that's $2,500. Each of these items costs gold themselves, and so while you'll make a profit for each successful use, it's not comparable to using all of attack pots or all defense pots and so on for just one attack. At least I'd think so for the most part. It depends on how deep you want to go. To continue talking about epic battles, and sorry that this is going on for so long, hopefully I'll have enough music for this. Different missions will have different time limits to complete, ranging from a few hours to several days. So for Series 1 mission, it'll be like where it says level 1, it'll be like 2 hours. And then for the last mission in that series, that might be 12 hours. For a more difficult series, that might take even longer to finish. And ideally, you want to get as much actions in as possible for higher reward, as well as just more attacks, steals, etc. They'll have longer durations. So the last missions in other series might be 2 days, or even 3-day durations, although obviously you can finish them before that and launch into another one. So if you have a 2-hour duration mission and you complete it in half an hour, you can launch straight into another mission without having to wait out the 3 hours. There will be an update message in clan chat notifying them when a mission is about to start, and at certain marks in the mission, such as the beginning of a new phase or the end of the mission. So basically you're going to see something like update, and it'll say so-and-so has started a mission, I don't know, attack the gate, and it'll begin in 15 minutes. And then the mission will start, and there won't be a message for mission starting. And so then you'll complete the first phase, and a second set of bars will appear, and it'll say, the guards hastily bring in reinforcements, and you must slay the reinforcements, or something more complex than that. And so you'll have to kill the reinforcements at the gate in order to complete the mission. Or if there is no extra phase, when you complete the mission it'll say, you know, so-and-so was defeated and the gates were unlocked and you were able to proceed forward. And then, you know, that's just what's going to be in clan chat. There's going to be, you know, 3 or 4 update messages in clan chat per mission. So, let's keep plugging along. There will be notifications for people that are in the mission whenever someone joins the mission in news. So, currently at the moment, during a war, you'll see, no matter if you're in the war or not, when someone joins the war on your side. So, you know, someone just joined the war and you'll see a whole active tag next to their name. For this, only people that are already in the mission will receive the newsfeed that someone has joined the mission. So, just a slight change, something that you guys might notice and think is a bug. That's actually kind of intended so people that aren't in the mission or away don't get extra newsfeed. In general, just not needed. There will be notifications to the clan whenever a mission is about to start when it's completed. See what I said earlier when I was talking about the update? That applies. If the mission is forfeited, a message will be sent to news, I believe, saying, you know, hey, your clan lost, or your clan forfeited, and in clan chat, I believe. But if the time expires, like, you know, the 3 hours you have to complete the mission expire, there's not going to be no notification. That when I last asked, could have been put in, but no, not that I've heard. There will be temporary battle logs you can check during a mission as far as who executed attacks, spy actions, and damage. This is something that's kind of new. Actually, it is new. Let me go back to this. So let's say clan thingy. Let me find an active war. Wars. War. Alright. So let's pretend this is the PvE screen. There'll be like the main bar right here, there'll be the 2 stage bars, and then there'll be probably a button, I'm guessing it'll be here somewhere, called battle logs, right? It'll be over here. And what you're going to see on the battle logs is you're going to be able to see so-and-so attacked the gate and did 59 damage, and then so-and-so used an item and failed, so-and-so used an item and failed for, you know, whatever the item-only bars are when you guys are trying to figure out what items to use. As if you need to use sleeping potions to put the guards to sleep, if you use any other potion, nothing's going to happen. And you'll have just wasted your money and your time. So, you'll have to follow the little hints that are under each stage bar, as it'll be like, you know, alertness, and it'll be like, figure out a way to put the guards to sleep or something like that. You'll have to use sleeping potions. Stuff like that. Saying too much. I do apologize for that. So that's just temporary battle logs. It'll go back for the duration of the mission when the mission ends. I don't believe there's anywhere to look at that. But after the epic battle, or mission, depending on what you want to call it, there's going to be a separate section in clan history for the clan page to check. So, you go to clans, you go to war history, this will be like view history instead, and then it'll be like war history, epic battle history, and you'll click on epic battles, and it'll say, alright, details, and it'll say, okay, like on the iDevice, it'll say this person had this many successful actions, and they won this much income overall. That includes attacks, as well as successful actions reward. And you can kind of view how active everyone was that way. Since on the iDevice you can look at, in the war system, how many successful attacks, steals, scouts, and so on, for that. So, that's just something that's going to be there. So for people that want to track epic battles like they do wars, same thing. The amount of successful, I already talked about that. Alright, crystaling. People are like, aha, can we crystal? Alright, there's a limit on crystaling, just like there is for wars. Because they're less than a day long, you can only use up to 3 crystals per mission in 24 hours. What this means is that if you finish the mission before 24 hours have passed, as in if it's say a 48-hour war, you can use 3 crystals, wait till the next day, use 3 more crystals. But at the same time, if you finish the mission in less than 24 hours, it only gets a 3-hour mission, you finish it in 3 hours, you can jump right into the next mission and use 3 more crystals, up until the 24 crystal limit per day. So, just a little bit of a limit. Now, this leads to people going, oh, well, I'll just leave the mission, come back, crystal, and I'll be able to break the whole 3 crystal limit per mission. Well, for people that leave the mission, you're not going to have your damage removed, per se. The damage is going to stay, which is actually going to hurt your clan. Because, you know, for speed clearing, yeah, leave the mission, come back, crystal again. Leave the mission, come back, crystal again. Get all that damage done and rush through the mission, if you want to do that. But if you leave the mission, you're going to get all your successful actions and income earned removed for you. So basically the damage is going to stay. So if you had 100 successful actions to do for scouting, like I was saying earlier, and a player did 50 of those actions and then left the clan and came back in, or just stayed out of the clan, that means there's only 50 successful actions worth of gold to be taken by other members of the clan. So just something to consider. You'll be making a lot less income. But you can, of course, just leave and rejoin if you just want to use crystals to speed rush through the missions. So the 24 crystal uses per day is still in place. Rapidly completing small missions should not let you exceed that, aside from unknown workarounds. I talked about that. Some stage bars, alright, this is what's going to kind of be a challenge. While bosses won't retaliate, some stage bars will regenerate every 5 minutes or so. So for these missions, clans will have to coordinate online times. So basically what this means is, alright, you've got that boss down with the sleeping potions, well, it's going to regenerate back to full if only one person's working on that sleeping potion bar. So you might have to have like 3 people working on it, so one person counters the regeneration and the other 2 people can drain the person, or possibly even on a larger scale. So you're going to be kind of like playing tug of war with the boss as he tries to stay alive. But ideally, because you're trying to get in as many successful actions as possible, because you get in more attacks or more steals, and you get more gold from successful actions, for people that are looking to get income, they kind of want to draw out the battle as long as possible, and then rapidly finish it when the time gets low, if they want to just do it for income. Or they can try rushing through the mission without using potions or crystals, and then start the mission again so you can have another set of hits. It just depends on the type of mission. Now, lastly, to make space for the epic battle section on the clan screen, there are going to be some UI changes, UI being user interface for those who don't know, as well as possibly some UI changes overall in the next update, but I don't quite know exactly where everything's going to be moved. Like I was talking about how in the clan history, I think there's going to be 2 tabs where one's going to be this is going to be history, and that's going to be war history, and that's going to be epic battle history or whatever. So there's going to be minor changes like that, but I'll let the patch notes take care of that. I hope this was informative. I hope I didn't just waste almost 30 minutes of your time, but tried to make it so you guys aren't completely blindsided. I hope I painted a different picture than I did last time, or at least clarified it, so you guys aren't completely blindsided by the next update. And this is Corinthian signing out.